What's your favorite comic book movie? This one proves you don't need $100 million to make a superhero film that kicks ass. It's day 96 of 365. Today's movie, Kick-Ass. Directed by Matthew Vaughn and starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Chloë Grace Moretz, and Nicolas Freakin Cage. This movie was kind of meant just for me when it came out. I was almost 19 when it came to theaters, and honestly, this one was written for me, marketed towards me, and had me in mind to get my ass into a movie theater seat as well as a comic book shop. This is a Marvel film, technically, but you won't find Kick-Ass in Avengers Doomsday because he's part of Millarworld. And if you don't know what that is, I'm not going to get into that whole mess. Millar's not a super great person, and his universe contains the Kingsman, which Matthew Vaughn also directed, in case you needed to know that. As an adult, on the other hand, I found this movie to have a lot of heart. It's kind of charming if you can get through some of the cringe. And the cringe is there because it's about teenagers who like comic books. It's a little nerdy on the back end, but there's a lot to like here, so let's get into the 3 things that I loved about Kick-Ass. The first thing that I love so much about Kick-Ass is Nicolas Freakin Cage, because of course he's here, and if he's here, of course he's playing Batman. Now, if you've seen The Flash at this point, then you know that he was also up for playing Superman at a certain point. I kind of love that we now have cinematic versions of both, but his Big Daddy is so much fucking fun. I can't prove this shit, but I'm pretty sure that Zack Snyder's version of Batman was inspired by Big Daddy more than anything else, even The Dark Knight Returns. This is such an awesome display of Batman-ness on screen. He gets 2 amazing kick-ass scenes within this. Again, forgive the pun. And what those scenes spell out for me is that we could have got a Nick Cage Batman movie that would have slapped. Like, there's a version of that out there that actually really fucking works. And honestly, I feel a little robbed that we don't have that. But as a consolation prize, I get the scenes in this movie. Big Daddy is just too much fun. And Nick Cage is bringing such a cool energy to this that he probably couldn't have brought to a Bruce Wayne, that instead he gets to bring to this disgraced cop. His chemistry with Chloë Grace is fucking fantastic. He's such a cool character for Kick-Ass to look up to. And the fact that he gets basically offed in a live stream is, again, like so Dark Knight coded that there's so much Batman happening here for me to be bad at. I'm on record saying this anytime Batman comes up. There's no such thing as too much Batman. We can take a serious one, a comedy one, and an action one every single year, and I'm gonna show up to all 3. The second thing that I really enjoy about Kick-Ass is Aaron Taylor Johnson. Actually, his turn as a leading man starting here kind of makes sense. He's a little young to fully take over Hollywood, and not all of his choices have been fantastic. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Kraven the Hunter. That was kind of a crazy choice, but we really can't fault the Sonyverse for doing the things that they do for the amount of ketamine that they've been doing at that production company. His turn in this movie is absolutely star-making. He is so fun, he's so charismatic, he's so real. Like, this works on levels that honestly, I couldn't have expected, and I didn't remember until rewatching it in 2025. Yeah, there's some cringe here. I don't think the masturbation jokes honestly need to be here to make the movie work. But this is the kind of stuff that people were joking and laughing about when we'd watch Spider-Man from a few years previous. Those are the kind of jokes that we would make, and this is still trying to be a comedy of sorts. So I understand why this stuff is here. But the stuff that really works is him being a real boy and then also wanting to be a superhero. Those things, along with his tenacity, his willingness to take a fucking beating in the name of what's right, that stuff really, really plays. It plays in a way that we don't see in our comic book movies much anymore. And like I mentioned at the top, this is only a $30 million movie. Even the first Deadpool was 3 times as expensive as this, but this one ends up just looking better for being more real. It feels more street level. You could make a Daredevil movie with this kind of budget, and it would absolutely work. I do hope that Aaron Taylor Johnson gets another turn as a superhero in a non-Sony production, because that whole universe is now defunct and kind of shitty, but it would be cool to bring him back in. And he's already had his turn in the MCU, right? His turn as Quicksilver, which he may come back for Avengers Doomsday, who fucking knows. His turn there, also excellent. It's kind of crazy that Elizabeth Olsen has had more of a run than he ended up, but we want to make his death meaningful, right? So maybe we throw him into the new DCU. I don't know. James Gunn, are you looking for somebody good? Because this kid's got the shit. The third thing that I like so much about this movie is that, as I mentioned, it's a low budget, but it's not a cheap movie by any means. Matthew Vaughn is a real master in getting a good production out of a small budget. The Kingsman movies that follow this, and even the follow-up Kick-Ass movie, definitely give him bigger budgets to work with, and he always runs with that. Also, you give him an X-Men movie, he's gonna crush that shit too. He's proven himself over and over, but this was his proving ground. He said, no, I can take basically a large indie budget and give you a blockbuster action movie that people are gonna wanna go see. People went to see this. This made its money back in spades, which is kind of crazy because, again, for this genre, it seems $100 million is the starting price to get in. And he's like, no, I can do 3 of these movies for that cost. Honestly, maybe he should have. I think if we're going to continue the superhero genre along these lines, we should do it with this budget in mind. There's no reason you couldn't make a Batman movie on this kind of budget. There's no reason you couldn't make, like I said, a Daredevil movie or a Punisher movie on this kind of budget. Because when story and character come first, that's all you need. There's also a need to believe in the material, and that's what Kick-Ass does the best. Kick-Ass as a character loves superheroes. So the movie as a tone, in turn, loves superheroes. And that love can forgive a whole lot of things, including $70 million worth of budget, if you're willing to wear that on your sleeve and go out and say, no, I want to do something real, I want to do something cool, maybe a little funny, very action-filled, maybe even scary at times. This movie was able to kind of give us all of those trappings because that's what the best superhero movies do. Think back to the first Spider-Man movie. It's funny for more than half of it. In Spider-Man 2, we get a full horror sequence with Doc Ock. They're dramas, they're holiday movies. They do so much that there's really only a need for a couple of superhero scenes in your superhero movie to make it across that finish line. And that's what Kick-Ass does so well here. And you know what? While we're on the train of superhero movies, let's announce our next movie. We're talking about Iron Man 2, and I will see you tomorrow.